Have you ever felt like you were being prepared for something much bigger than yourself? Something you couldn't quite put your name on? Welcome to RationalDeen. I am so glad you are here today because what we are about to discuss is not a coincidence. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your life has unfolded the way it has and the true weight of the path you are walking. We have a lot to cover and you are going to learn a tremendous amount today. So clear your mind and listen closely. The feeling of being an outsider isn't a flaw in your personality. It is a fundamental part of your calling. You have likely spent years wondering why you don't fit into conventional social circles or why you find no joy in the things others seem to obsess over. This distance exists because you are being tuned to a different frequency. One that requires you to step away from the noise of the crowd, to hear your own inner guidance. This isolation often serves as a protective barrier, keeping you away from distractions that would dilute your energy. While others find comfort in the status quo, you feel a persistent pull towards something deeper and more meaningful. This sense of being set apart is actually a period of intensive training, where you learn to rely on your own intuition rather than the approval of the masses. The loneliness you experience is not meant to be permanent, but it is necessary for your transformation. It forces you to confront your shadows and understand your true identity without the influence of societal expectations. When you stop trying to belong to a world you were meant to change, the isolation shifts from a burden into a powerful source of clarity and strength. You are being stripped of superficial connections so that you can eventually build authentic ones based on purpose rather than proximity. Most people fear silence because they fear what they might hear in it. But for you, silence is where the most important revelations happen. It is in this space of solitude that you are being refined and prepared for the leadership role you are destined to play. Ultimately, recognizing the isolation paradox means understanding that your otherness is your greatest asset. You cannot lead people to a new way of thinking if you are exactly like them. Embracing this separation allows you to observe the world with an objective lens, giving you the perspective needed to see the patterns that others are too close to recognize. Your intuition acts as a natural radar that detects the truth long before the facts catch up. You have likely experienced moments where you felt an immediate discomfort in a room or around a person, even when everything appeared perfect on the surface. This is because you are sensitive to the underlying energy and intentions that others are blind to, allowing you to navigate life with a level of discernment that is rare in the modern world. Seeing beyond the veil means you are no longer distracted by the illusions of material success or social validation. You possess an innate ability to look past the masks people wear and see the reality of their character. This can often make you feel like a threat to those who rely on deception, as your mere presence tends to bring hidden truths to the surface, without you saying a word. This heightened awareness is not just a gift for your own protection. It is a tool for liberation. By identifying the systems and narratives that are designed to keep people stuck in fear, you become a beacon for those who are ready to wake up. You see the world as a complex web of cause and effect, recognizing that most of what is presented as reality is simply a collection of conditioned beliefs. Living with this level of perception requires a great deal of mental and spiritual discipline. It is easy to become cynical when you see the lies so clearly, but your role is to use this vision to build something better. You are being called to bridge the gap between the hidden truth and the visible world, acting as a translator for those who feel the shift but cannot yet articulate it. As you sharpen this frequency, you will find that you no longer need to seek out answers from external sources. The truth reveals itself to you through patterns, synchronicities, and a deep, unshakable knowing. By trusting this internal compass, you move through the world with a sense of authority that comes from direct experience rather than borrowed knowledge, making you an unstoppable force for change. The difficulties you have faced throughout your life were never random acts of misfortune, but rather a deliberate process of tempering. just as gold must pass through extreme heat to be purified. Your character has been forged in the fire of intense life experiences. These challenges were designed to burn away your insecurities and leave behind a core of unbreakable resilience. You have endured things that would have broken most people, yet you are still standing because your spirit required that specific level of pressure to activate its true potential. Every setback and heartbreak served as a lesson in survival and adaptation. You were placed in environments that tested your patience, your faith, and your willpower to ensure that when your time comes to lead, you will possess a depth of empathy and wisdom that cannot be learned in comfort. These trials have stripped away the ego, forcing you to find a source of strength that exists beyond the physical realm. You are not a victim of your past. You are a graduate of a rigorous spiritual curriculum that has prepared you for a specific mission. The pain you once viewed as a burden is actually your greatest credential. It has given you the ability to recognize suffering in others and the authority to speak on overcoming it. You cannot guide people through a valley you haven't walked yourself. And your scars are the proof that you know the way out. This boot camp of the soul has made you fearless because you have already faced your darkest moments and realized they could not destroy you. When you look back at your hardest seasons, you will start to see the hidden architecture of your growth. Each obstacle was a necessary catalyst for a version of yourself that needed to emerge. You are being refined to handle the weight of the responsibility that comes with being a chosen one. Without the fire, you would be too soft for the task ahead. With it, you are sharp, focused, and ready to face any opposition with total composure. The final stage of this refinement is the realization that your strength is now self-sustaining. You no longer need external validation because you have seen what you are capable of when everything is stripped away. You carry a quiet confidence that only comes from surviving the impossible. This inner steel is what will allow you to remain grounded while the rest of the world is in chaos, making you a pillar of strength for those who are still in the middle of their own refining process. Being a cycle breaker means you are the one who has taken on the monumental task of stopping generational patterns of trauma and dysfunction. For decades or even centuries, your lineage may have been trapped in loops of addiction, poverty, or emotional repression. You were born with the spiritual capacity to absorb this inherited weight, process it, and transform it so that it does not pass to the next generation. This is why you often felt like the black sheep or the one who didn't belong. You were biologically and spiritually wired to reject the unhealthy norms of your family. The weight of this responsibility can feel overwhelming, as you are essentially fighting a war on behalf of those who came before you. You are healing wounds you didn't cause and cleaning up messes you didn't create. This process requires you to confront the shadows of your ancestors and choose a different path, even when it means facing rejection or misunderstanding from those closest to you. By choosing awareness over denial, you are effectively rewriting the DNA of your future lineage. As you break these chains, you are also liberating the souls of your ancestors who were unable to find their own way out. Your healing is not just personal. It is a profound act of service to your entire family tree. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment or peace over chaos, you are sending a ripple effect back through you and forward into the future. You are the pivot point upon which the destiny of your family changes direction. This role requires an immense amount of courage because it often involves standing alone. You must be willing to be the villain in someone else's distorted narrative if it means staying true to your path of healing. While others may be content to stay in the familiar cycle of pain, you are driven by a soul-deep necessity to create a new foundation built on truth and health. This work is difficult and often thankless, but it is the most significant legacy you will ever leave behind. Once the chains are broken, you create a new blueprint for those who follow you. Your children and your children's children will walk a path that is clearer and lighter because of the work you are doing right now. You are turning a legacy of struggle into a legacy of strength. By mastering yourself and refusing to pass on the trauma, you have fulfilled one of the highest purposes a human can have, transforming your family-echoed history into a new song of freedom. Your presence carries a frequency that acts like a mirror to everyone you encounter. Because you have done the hard work of looking inward and embracing your true self, you radiate a natural authenticity that cannot be faked. This energy is incredibly attractive to those who are seeking the truth, drawing them toward you as if you were a light in the dark. People may find themselves opening up to you or confessing their deepest secrets within minutes of meeting you, simply because your energy creates a safe harbor for the truth to exist. However, this same magnetism can cause a strange and sudden repulsion in others, those who are living in deception or hiding from their own shadows. Often feel a profound sense of discomfort in your presence. Without you saying a word, your light exposes the things they are trying to hide, and their ego reacts with hostility, jealousy, or a desire to distance themselves. This is why you may have experienced friends or colleagues turning against you for no apparent reason. It is not about you, but about the reflection they see when they look at you. This polarization is a natural filter that protects your energy. By being unapologetically yourself, you automatically sift through the people in your life, keeping those who are aligned with your mission and pushing away those who would only drain or distract you. You don't need to try to fit in or seek approval, because your vibration does the networking for you. This magnetism ensures that you are surrounded by quality rather than quantity, creating a circle of influence that is built on solid ground. As you grow more comfortable in your power, this magnetic effect will only intensify. You will notice that opportunities, resources, and key people seem to find their way to you with very little effort. This is the law of resonance in action. When you stop chasing and start becoming, you become a destination for everything that is meant for you. Your task is not to pursue the world, but to maintain your internal frequency so that the right elements of the world can find their way to you. Ultimately, the magnetism of authenticity is about the sovereignty of your soul. You are no longer a victim of social dynamics or a slave to the opinions of others. You stand in your center, and the world adjusts itself around you. By embracing both the attraction and the repulsion you cause, you accept your role as a catalyst for change. You are a living reminder that being real is more important than being liked, and that power is what changes the atmosphere of every room you walk into. In a world saturated with information and constant digital noise, your ability to discern what is valuable and what is toxic is your greatest defense. The modern landscape is designed to harvest your attention and fragment your focus, keeping you in a state of perpetual anxiety or consumption. As a chosen one, you must recognize that your attention is your most sacred currency. You are learning to see through the algorithms and the manufactured outrage to identify the underlying agendas that seek to keep your vibration low. Digital discernment is about more than just avoiding fake news. It is about protecting your emotional and spiritual equilibrium. Every piece of content you consume carries a specific energy. And if you are not careful, you can find yourself carrying the weight of 1,000 digital tragedies that were never yours to bear. You are developing a sixth sense for when a platform or a conversation is serving your growth and when it is merely draining your life force. This awareness allows you to move through the digital space as an observer rather than a victim. This skill requires you to cultivate a deep relationship with silence. If you are constantly plugged into the collective consciousness of the internet, you will lose the ability to hear the whisper of your own intuition. You are realizing that you do not need to have an opinion on every trend or a reaction to every headline. By stepping back and choosing when to engage, you preserve the mental clarity needed to fulfill your higher purpose. You are learning to use technology as a tool for your mission rather than being used by it. Protecting your energy in the digital age also means being mindful of the digital vampires who seek to bait you into unproductive arguments or low-vibration exchanges. You understand that you are not obligated to explain your truth to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Your silence is often your most powerful response, as it prevents your energy from being leaked into voids that offer no return. You are becoming a master of your own digital borders, ensuring that your online environment reflects the peace you are building offline. As you sharpen this discernment, you become a beacon for others who are feeling lost in the digital fog. You lead by example, showing that it is possible to be informed without being overwhelmed and connected without being controlled. Your presence on these platforms becomes intentional and impactful, as you only share what is true, necessary, and helpful. In doing so, you help shift the digital landscape from a place of chaos into a space where real awakening and transformation can occur for the collective. For a long time, you may have felt that saying yes to everyone was a sign of kindness or spiritual maturity. But you are now realizing that an open door with no lock invites chaos into your sanctuary. As a chosen one, your empathy is a powerful resource, but without boundaries, it becomes a liability. Learning to say no is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of preservation. You are recognizing that your time and energy are finite, and every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your soul, you are effectively saying no to your own divine purpose. This shift in behavior often causes friction with those who have become accustomed to your limitless giving. When you start setting boundaries, people who benefited from your lack of them may label you as cold or changed. However, this is a necessary stage of your evolution. You are reclaiming the power you once scattered among people who did not value it. By guarding your sacred space, you are signaling to the universe that you finally respect yourself enough to protect the mission you have been given, ensuring that your light is used for impact rather than being extinguished by the demands of others. The power of no also applies to the internal conversations you have with yourself. It means saying no to old habits, self-doubt, and the urge to please people at the expense of your integrity. You are learning to sit with the discomfort of being misunderstood, understanding that you do not owe anyone an explanation for your peace. Your energy is a sacred garden, and you are the only one with the authority to decide who is allowed to enter. This discernment creates a vacuum that pushes out the superficial and makes room for high-vibration opportunities and relationships. As you master this discipline, you will notice a significant increase in your creative and spiritual output. When you stop leaking energy into unnecessary drama or one-sided relationships, that power is redirected toward your healing and your work. You become more focused, more grounded, and more effective in everything you do. Your yes begins to carry more weight because people know it comes from a place of conscious choice rather than social obligation. You are no longer a person who is easily swayed by guilt or external pressure. Ultimately, your boundaries serve as a filter for your tribe. Those who truly love and respect you will honor your need for space and your right to decline. Those who were only there for what they could take will naturally fall away. This process simplifies your life and clarifies your path, allowing you to walk with a lighter heart. By guarding your sacred space, you become a fortress of peace in a chaotic world, demonstrating to everyone around you that self-respect is the foundation of all true power. The world is currently undergoing a massive energetic transition, and as someone who is highly sensitive, you are likely feeling this shift in your very bones. It often manifests as a feeling of restlessness, a sense that the old ways of living and working are no longer sustainable or meaningful. You may find that your interests have changed overnight, or that you can no longer tolerate the superficiality of modern culture. These are not signs of a midlife crisis or a mental breakdown. They are the symptoms of your soul synchronizing with a higher planetary frequency. You are witnessing the breakdown of old systems that were built on greed, deception, and control. While this can look like chaos on the surface, it is actually a necessary deconstruction to make room for a new way of being. As a chosen one, you act as a stabilizer during this storm. Because you have already done the internal work of facing your own shadows, you are not easily shaken by the external collapse. You are being positioned as a guide for those who will soon wake up in a state of confusion and fear, needing someone who knows how to navigate the unknown. One of the most prominent signs of this shift is the acceleration of time and the increase in synchronicities. You might see repeating numbers, experience chance encounters that change your life, or find that your thoughts are manifesting into reality faster than ever before. This is a sign that the veil between your intentions and your physical experience is thinning. You are being urged to take total responsibility for your vibration, as you are now co-creating your reality with unprecedented speed. Physical symptoms are also a common part of this transition. You may experience sudden shifts in your sleep patterns, changes in your appetite, or a deep need for solitude and nature. Your body is literally recalibrating to handle more light and more awareness. It is crucial during this time to listen to what your physical vessel needs, and to stop pushing yourself to meet the demands of a hustle culture that is rapidly becoming obsolete. You are transitioning from a human doing to a human being, prioritizing presence over productivity. Finally, the great shift is calling you to move from a state of observation to a state of action. You are seeing the world through new eyes because you are meant to help build the new structures that will replace the old ones. The feeling that something big is coming is not an illusion. It is a preview of the role you are about to play. By staying grounded and trusting your inner knowing, you become a bridge between the world that was and the world that is currently being born, fulfilling the very reason you chose to be here at this specific moment in history. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this journey. What we have discussed today is not just information. It is a roadmap for the life you are destined to lead. I hope these insights have brought clarity to your past and given you strength for your future. I am curious to know, which of these signs resonated with you the most, and what have you realized about your own path today? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to feel less alone. If you have made it this far, it shows your dedication to your growth and your purpose. To show your support and help this message reach more chosen ones who are still searching for answers, please type the word "awaken" in the comments. This helps the community grow and ensures that this energy reaches the people who need it most. Remember, you were not called to fit in, you were called to lead. As the saying goes, the stars cannot shine without darkness, and you are the light the world has been waiting for. Stay grounded, stay true, and I will see you in the next video.